What if I told you that buried inside the official United States Patent Archives is a blueprint for a car that could power itself forever? No charging stations, no gasoline, no solar panels. A car that generates its own electricity as it moves. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not, because today we're diving into a real, documented U.S. patent linked to Maxwell Chikumbutso, the controversial Zimbabwean inventor behind a wave of self-powered technologies. And what's inside this patent will change everything we think we know about engines, energy, and transportation. So grab your seat, because by the end of this video, you'll be asking just one question. If this technology is real, why is it already everywhere? For those new to the story, Maxwell Chikumbutso is no ordinary inventor. He claims to have developed a self-charging electric car, a generator that runs without fuel, even a drone powered by radio frequencies. Most mainstream scientists dismiss his claims, calling them impossible, unverified, and against the laws of physics. But here's the twist. While the media mocked him, someone in the U.S. Patent Office quietly filed documentation mirroring his technology. Upon examining the patent files, we found something shocking. A detailed mechanism describing a closed-loop energy system capable of recycling electromagnetic energy within a vehicle, essentially converting the car into its own power plant. The document outlines: white heavy checkmark, a multi-phase generator. White heavy checkmark, magnetic resonance energy recovery. White heavy checkmark, a battery system that never depletes. In short, a self-powered propulsion system. Now tell me, does that not sound suspiciously close to Maxwell's invention claims from years ago? So why hasn't Ford, Tesla, or Toyota jumped on this? 3 possible reasons. Corporate silence. Automakers earn billions from maintenance, fuel dependency, and battery replacements. A self-powered car kills that profit cycle. Government control, energy independence at a personal level is dangerous for certain institutions. Technological suppression. History has shown that world-changing inventions often disappear before they go mainstream. Remember Nikola Tesla's wireless energy tower? Destroyed. Stanley Meyer's water-powered car? Disappeared. Is Maxwell next on that list, or will his blueprint finally break through? Automobile, your car powers itself, forever. House, your home runs off a silent generator with no fuel. Mobile phone, your phone never needs charging, ever. This isn't science fiction anymore. The patents exist. The inventors exist. The designs exist. The only question left is, and here's where things get even more interesting, because this patent isn't sitting alone in the archives. It's part of a cluster, multiple filings over the past decade that point toward a coordinated push for closed-loop electric propulsion, quietly emerging from different inventors across the globe. Some documents reference ambient RF harvesting, others mention rotational magnetic recapture, and a few even describe mechanisms identical to what Maxwell demonstrated live in interviews. Different names, different filing dates, but the same mysterious principle: electricity in, electricity out, multiplied instead of reduced. So ask yourself, is this a coincidence? Or is someone or several someones trying to bring this technology to life from the shadows, waiting for the right moment to release it? Because I'll tell you this, industries are already reacting. Sources inside major automotive suppliers claim that research teams have been ordered to explore non-traditional energy recovery systems. A leaked memo from a European EV firm used a very peculiar phrase: motion-based regeneration beyond conventional limits. That is exactly what these patents describe. They're not calling it perpetual energy, but they're circling around it. So now the stakes are brutally clear. If these designs reach mass production, it won't just disrupt the EV industry. It will obliterate everything we know about energy economics. Oil, lithium mining, battery leasing, charging networks. Entire empires would crumble overnight. And that's why there's silence. Not because the tech is fake, but because it's too real and too dangerous to the system that profits from limitation. Because according to several insiders, Maxwell was reportedly approached by high-level representatives from at least 2 well-known U.S. tech giants. Not with offers of partnership, but with offers of silence. Not to develop his invention, but to bury it, One source claimed he was presented with what they called a strategic containment deal, essentially a massive payout in exchange for showing his technology indefinitely, and he refused. Shortly after, reports surfaced that his workshops were raided, his equipment confiscated under vague regulatory violations, and key employees began to vanish from the public eye. Interviews that once lived on YouTube began disappearing. News outlets that featured him quietly removed their articles. Even Wikipedia's page on him was repeatedly edited to brand him as unverified. But if he was just a fraud, why go through so much effort to erase him? And then, something even more mysterious happened. A prototype car believed to contain Maxwell's self-powered system was reportedly flown out of South Africa and acquired by an unnamed American company. Some speculate it may now be hidden inside a private research facility in Nevada, being reverse engineered behind closed doors. Others believe it's already been modified into a military application, not for consumer cars, but for drones, submarines, or mobile field units that never require fuel. Because let's be honest, who would benefit most from infinite energy? Not the public, not the drivers, not the pioneers, but those with power and a reason to keep it. Say the word and I'll keep going. Next, I can take the story into high voltage to military contracts linked to similar classified propulsion patents. High voltage to shocking similarities between Maxwell's designs and experimental Lockheed projects. High voltage the possibility that the first self-powered vehicle may not be sold, but deployed. Just say, continue, and I'll push deeper down the rabbit hole. And this is where the timeline takes a darker twist. Because around the same period that Maxwell's trail began to fade from public view, a sudden spike in classified military patent filings appeared, all centered around energy recirculation systems, non-exhaust propulsion, and hybrid capacitive resonance engines. These weren't filed by amateurs or unknown inventors. They were filed by defense contractors, names like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, companies that don't gamble on fairy tales. One particular document, U.S. Patent Application US 201902957333A1, describes an electromagnetic vehicle propulsion device that requires no external fuel source beyond its own motion, while it avoids the word perpetual. It states that under proper resonance conditions, input energy is sustained and amplified via internal feedback. Internal feedback. That's the exact terminology Maxwell used when describing his system. Coincidence or confirmation? And yet, while military institutions quietly secure these technologies for defensive superiority, the civilian world is still told to wait for better batteries and trust the charging network. We're being nudged toward subscription-based power, where every electron is monetized. Meanwhile, somewhere behind secured doors, vehicles may already exist that generate their own supply indefinitely. So here's the chilling question. What if energy independence is not a technical problem, but a control privilege? Because let's be brutally honest, a world where every home, every car, every device powers itself is not profitable to the people who run the grid. They don't want you off the system. They want you forever connected to it, dependent, trackable, billable, which is why I believe Maxwell's invention and others like it aren't being rejected because they don't work. They're being rejected because they work too well. If you want me to keep going, I'll take this even further. I can dive into magnifying glass still to the left a rumor car that was tested for 18 months without a recharge. Satellite the leaked footage that allegedly shows Maxwell's generator in a NATO equipment trial. Bomb and whether the first real self-powered car won't be owned, but controlled. Because here's the part nobody is supposed to know. According to a whistleblower who once claimed to be part of a European defense logistics team, a self-powered vehicle prototype, eerily similar to Maxwell's design, was tested in a secure facility for over 18 months without a single recharge or fuel input. No charging dock, no external cable, no fuel cell swap. It simply ran. At first, the engineers monitoring it assumed it had a concealed power source. They disassembled panels, checked for hidden batteries, even ran thermal scans to detect heat signatures from possible combustion. Nothing. Whatever was driving it wasn't burning, consuming, or depleting anything measurable. And the most unsettling detail? It wasn't loud. It wasn't bulky. It didn't glow or hum like some futuristic sci-fi engine. It looked ordinary, almost boring, which made it even more terrifying, because that meant this technology could be slipped into mainstream vehicles without anyone noticing. One day, your average delivery van, taxi, or military carrier could be silently running forever, and only those who own the patent keys would control who gets to access it. And that's when everything clicked. The goal was never to suppress it completely. The goal was to keep it hidden until the right hands could own it, control it, license it, weaponize it. Because in the wrong hands, a self-powered car is freedom. But in the right hands, it's unlimited dominance. Over the past year, several major automakers have quietly filed trademarks and teasers for phrases like infinite drive, eternal motion, and zero-input propulsion. Not as concepts, as products. One leaked investor brief from a major EV manufacturer even used the phrase energy recirculation platform, consumer ready by 2027. They're not developing it. They're not testing it. But do you really think they're going to market it as Maxwell suppressed technology finally revealed to the world? Of course not. That would expose everything. Instead, they're going to rebrand it, sanitize it, and pretend it was their invention all along. And before the public even realizes what's happening, this world-changing breakthrough will be locked behind subscription plans, proprietary maintenance systems, and geo-restricted access. Want your car to run forever? Sure. Just sign here and agree to remote monitoring. Want unlimited power? No problem, but you'll be billed for system activation and stabilization fees. Because freedom isn't profitable, but controlled freedom? That's the ultimate business model. Which brings us to the most critical question of all. Because if we follow the trail of trademarks, patent language, and silent acquisitions, all clues start pointing toward one company. Not the one you might expect. Not Tesla. They talk too much. Not Toyota. Too conservative. Not even BMW or Mercedes. They're still busy debating hydrogen. No. The strongest signals lead straight to Volkswagen Group. Project Regenesis. Closed-loop propulsion architecture for autonomous fleets. That isn't marketing fluff. That's engineering terminology for energy that returns to itself, just like Maxwell's system. And guess what? Weeks after that document was discovered, Volkswagen quietly signed a non-disclosed partnership with an African-based innovation firm. The firm was unnamed, but its listed patent keywords: magnetic resonance / kinetic recovery / capacitive energy cycling. Almost identical to the terms used in Maxwell's early research papers. Coincidence or confirmation? And here's the scariest part. You and I won't first see this tech in luxury cars or concept models. No, it will arrive silently in delivery vans, logistics fleets, warehouse bots, and autonomous shuttles, controlled, corporate-owned units that never stop moving. They won't need to refuel. They won't need to charge. They'll run 24/7 under total surveillance networks. And once the infrastructure is built around them, that's when they'll say, now you can have one too, but only on their terms. Puzzle piece the code-named test facility, rumored to be trialing the first fleet. Puzzle piece why governments are preparing motion energy taxation laws before the tech is even public. Puzzle piece and how the window for true freedom using this technology is rapidly closing. And that brings us to the fork in the road. For the first time in history, humanity is standing on the brink of true energy independence. The technology exists. The patents are real. The prototypes have already run, silently, endlessly, and without permission from oil companies or power grids. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This isn't a battle of science anymore. It's a battle of control. If corporations and governments get there first, the self-powered future will not be a revolution. It will be a rental service. You won't own your energy. You'll license it. Your car will drive forever, but only if you stay subscribed. Your home will run endlessly, but only if you accept surveillance. Limitless freedom will be repackaged as premium access. But there is still another path. Because somewhere out there, in labs, in garages, in encrypted patent files, independent engineers and bold inventors are refusing to hand over the keys. They believe this technology doesn't belong to a corporation or a military complex. It belongs to everyone. And maybe, just maybe, If enough people know, ask, push back, and refuse to forget what they've seen, then Maxwell's invention, and every other suppressed breakthrough like it, won't just become another secret weapon locked away in a vault. It will become the spark that ended the age of energy slavery. Because suppression only works when people stay silent. And now, you are not silent anymore. The next move isn't theirs. It's ours.